Hello, my name is Steve, and tonight on our COVID cooking lessons, since Mom's almost recovered from COVID, but she's still getting fatigued easily, having a little shortness of breath, the inhaler has helped that immensely, and we got a little COVID fog on the brain, which that's a fine line between what we normally get around here. We're making, we saw a picture, a meme, I think they're called, we called them pictures when I was a kid, on Facebook that had bacon chocolate chip cookies. And so we were having a discussion. I said, well, we can make that, can't we? And she goes, yeah, why don't you cook it tonight? So I'm cooking. So bacon chocolate chip cookies. She's made a bacon chocolate pie before that was delicious. So we have our ingredients. We have a stick of butter, a measuring spoon adjustable thing. We have all-purpose flour. We have granulated sugar. We have salt, 2 eggs, vanilla extract, baking powder. And here we have baking soda because there is a difference. I have no idea what it is, but we have cornstarch, maple syrup, brown sugar, 2 dry measuring cups. We are aware. We have a scooper to scoop the mixture out once we mix everything together. We have the bacon, which is probably, it's a tie between the chocolate chip cookie, the chocolate chips and the bacon as to the most important ingredient in my mind. In reality, it's probably one of these other things like the baking powder or something that makes a cookie, but I know nothing about that. I just know bacon and chocolate chips. So there's our ingredients. First thing we're going to do is fry the bacon, so that'll be coming right up. Okay, the first step is going to be melting the butter. So I'm going to put it in this wet measuring cup. And yes, I do beat a dead horse, or whatever type of horse that is. Okay, so I'm going to cut the butter into little chunks because it'll supposedly melt a little better if I can do this without including a little blood with it. Are these too big or too small a chunks? Or? Okay.
Now, we're going to melt it on the stove, but you can melt it in the microwave if you have a microwave. Most people do that nowadays. I'm just anti-microwave. Personal preference.
Yeah, and I don't miss the microwave. I don't even think I used the microwave that much before I got married. I probably used it more than I thought I did. And I also clean as I go. And we're going to preheat the eye here on about 3.5 for my bacon. So I went on ahead and turned that on. You can turn the light on that if you need to. Okay. Yeah. Did I turn the other eye on? No, I didn't. No. Put that on about 2. In the skillet here, and this is not the neatest bacon we've ever gotten from Smithville. I I know Smithville's doing their bacon in China now. I think all their stuff has some link to China. And if the Chinese really want to kill us, they could kill me with bacon. I mean, there's worse ways to go, right? Anyway, this is just sloppy looking bacon. Because I don't mind the fat. I actually kind of enjoy that. But the bacon is just not very neat. I need to look to see if this is thick bacon when I got it out of the freezer this morning. It may not be. But, you know, it doesn't matter if this sticks together because we're going to be putting it into little pieces. Okay. I think I'm squeezing a piece of bacon.
Squeeze one on this other side.
The lardy parts, I'm not afraid of. Okay. There's my bacon press, which is not going to press all of it, but it'll press most of it. Okay, and what I do, I turn my eye on about 3.5, a little over 3. Fry my bacon, flip it over a couple times, and then I soak it in. I put a paper towel on the top and the bottom to get a lot of the extra grease out of it, because I have bacon every morning for breakfast. So I'm kind of meeting the bacon halfway as far as my heart attack that's probably impending. So I figure the less grease won't clog my arteries. It also won't challenge my heart as much, so I may be missing that little bit of exercise I would get. But anyway, we're going to let this cook up, let the butter melt, and we're going to preheat the oven on 350. So we're just going to hit start, and it's preheating on 350. The bacon is cooking up nicely. I flipped it once already, and that's the other reason I usually cook it on low heat, so it gives me a little more time to get together and check it.
You also usually cut it.
Yeah, I usually cut it in half. I forgot to do that because I put everything in the dishwasher. We don't use a lot of the newer kitchen appliances, but we do like our dishwasher. Okay. And also, when we get done here, I've got a bacon grease can that I put my bacon grease in. I'll show you that when I do it. It's got a little filter on top and everything. So there is the bacon. Okay, so I'm going to take the butter and pour it in here first.
Yes.
Okay. The butter's pretty well melted.
That's 1 cup.
Yes, that is 1 cup of butter.
You need to see if it's hot, because it needs to cool if it's hot.
Yep. It's warm, it's not hot. So we're going to have 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Can't read the label, but I can see the color. And then we're going to have a 1/2 cup of white, just regular granulated sugar. So, is that level enough? Or it needs to be exactly?
Yeah, I usually do it exact, but whatever. You're the chef.
I'm the chef, so that's good enough. If anything, I'll make up for it with a little extra brown sugar if we have it. Okay. Since we're a little crowded for space over here, this is going back in its corner. Okay. And let's get a 1.5 cups of this. Okay. So
You want to put that in that bag?
dip it out that way.
Yeah.
In that case, we're just going to do 3 of these.
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Okay.
You want it to be packed in there good. I hope we got enough.
Okay, we're going to hope we have enough to have 3 cups of brown sugar. That little bit extra there makes up for the white sugar. Okay. There's 2, which is a full cup. There's a couple amazing things here. Number one, I haven't dropped this on the floor yet. And the other thing is realizing I can use the edge of the bag to make it level. So I'm learning as I go here. Okay.
Maybe see my smeller.
Okay, the bacon's getting close to being done.
You might need to flip those side ones around to the middle. Not to tell you how to cook.
No, I usually do that, but like I said, I forgot to cut it in half today, so. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're mixing up the brown sugar, the white sugar, and the butter. And we're using the trusty fork. And yes, it is the same fork that I used in the bacon, but guess what? We're having bacon in our chocolate chip cookies. So, can you really have too much bacon? That's one of those philosophical questions that the answer is usually a no. How many bites does it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop? Who knows? Too many. Okay, so I've got that mixed pretty good. Does that look good to you?
Mix a little more.
Okay, let's try to get this edgy stuff here
Yeah.
in. Okay. Time. That's always tricky. Not because of the eggs. Mix them in, mix that up, and then put the other egg. Okay. I was thinking if I had to do the eggs at the same time, that would be 2 eggs, 1 in each hand, and that could get tricky. Okay, so we're mixing this up. Okay, I like the feel of this. Okay. Okay, we're gonna add the other egg. Anytime I crack an egg and we're not picking eggshell out of what I'm putting it in, that's one of those small victories. Turn the oven down a little bit so my bacon doesn't burn.
You mean stovetop?
Yeah, stove. Turn the stove down, not the oven. The oven is still, it's already preheated. Usually it takes about 10 minutes to preheat on 400, about 8 minutes on 350. So. Okay. I'm doing 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is store-bought, it's not homemade. We've had that discussion. I don't know if we've done it. Where's the 1 teaspoon? I think I hit something. I'm not wearing my glasses.
There's 1 teaspoon right there.
Okay. That's one of those things, not sure we can have too much of, but we are following a recipe. Okay, and then how much maple syrup? Same amount?
1/4 cup.
1/4 cup.
You got a
That's
cup
not
right
good.
there.
Ah, and that's a wet cup for those of you keeping track at home. We'll probably post this recipe underneath the description. Oh, this has a little flippy top on it with paper. Okay. I have issues, but apparently I'm going to have to deal with them later. Okay. So we've got the 1/4 cup. Is that the bottom line on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. 1/4 cup. Maple syrup. That looks like about 1/4 cup. Okay.
And the dogs are playing, so it's gonna get loud.
Yeah. I'm gonna let this drip while I mix. Because I don't want to waste any precious maple syrup and offend any Vermonters or Vermontiers. What are they called? Vermonters?
This is actually from Canada.
Oh, well. Don't want to offend them, eh?
This is Aldi.
Yeah.
Where's my camera?
Aldi specialty maple syrup. Okay, we're getting a nice consistency here. This looks like something you would freeze in chunks and put in ice cream. Okay. The bacon, it looks pretty well done. Some of it might be a little overly done. So I'm going to put the bacon over here. Okay. Put a napkin over that. Or a paper towel. Put another paper towel. Let me get this big honking piece here. Okay. And if you're thinking the bacon's not crispy enough, it does tend to get crispy when the grease is soaked out of it. So we don't want to waste bacon. So I'm going to put this, leave those. I don't think I'll need them, but you never know. So I'll put that on there. And then this pan that I have my bacon press in, I'm gonna put on top of it to add a little weight. And I'm gonna take this and pour it into my bacon grease collector here.
Hey,
I would have seen that when I looked. And that's the filter that I rinse out every morning. Okay, pouring that in there, and it catches the grease and it filters out all the particles. That's some tasty goodness right there. So, my instincts say to go ahead and clean this. So I'm the one baking, so we're doing it my way. Okay, I cleaned my skillet because, like I've said, I'm a clean as I go guy. And I just gave it a quick brush with water because I don't want to have to, or I don't want my wife to have to re-cure this before we use it again. Although chances are we'll put something in it. This is my 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm gonna have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So let me get up here to 1 teaspoon of that. And I'm gonna mix these in the little bowl here.
that's good.
Okay. There's that. Okay, I'm done with that. 1 teaspoon of salt, which I think's a little much, but who's to question the chocolate chip cookie gods? So here's my tablespoon of salt. Done with the salt. And I need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch.
All right.
Okay, so I'm on 2 tablespoons,
Teaspoons, right?
2 teaspoons. Dip it in. Level it out, and everything I scraped off I got on my finger, I'm putting in here anyway. Okay. We're done with these 3. I'm going to stir this together. And don't you love the sound of that? I don't know if you can hear that very well, but it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. Okay, and then we're going to have 3 1/4 cups of flour. So we're going to use the 1/2 cup, so that'll be 6 1/2. One, 2, 3, 4.
They sound like they're killing each other, but they're not.
Yeah.
That's them playing.
5.
I'm cutting it close.
That looks full. 6. And then the 1/2 is probably that first notch there. It is. So, okay, so that's right at a 1/4, which is 1/2 of a 1/2 cup. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back where it goes. And then gonna get my fork, pour this in the top, and then I'm gonna just whip it together. Is that good? I heard you. I mean, how much? Okay. I'm gonna pour this into here.
Yep, you're gonna slowly mix that into this.
Slowly, I tell you.
A little bit at a time.
Okay, I use the same.
You ought to be good. They sound like they're tearing that apart.
They're probably fighting over who's gonna get to lick a bowl. Okay, probably.
Oh, Diane's so vicious.
Yeah, but she's always wagging her tail.
Nolan keeps running down the hallway.
Yeah. Then he hears us say his name and he stops there at the gate to see what we're doing. Carla's back here behind the table behind us because that's what she does. Okay, so this mixing is going pretty well. You can feel it thickening up. Okay. That might be a little much, but I can live with it. Should have got my left-handed fork now. Start it back up again.
I've already started it.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good. There's cookie, chocolate chip cookie potential here. So, we got that mixed up pretty well. Now, I'm sure the next thing we add, since the ingredients table here is empty except for the dark chocolate chips and the bacon. So,
Well, I'd like to interject here. I'd add a little more flour.
you would.
Yes, just because it looks a little weak.
Well, the only reason I'm not objecting is because more ingredients means more cookies. And basically what I'm learning here is I probably could have just dumped the jar in here anyway.
I told you it was about the right amount in the jar, but that's a little much. But
Well, then I'm going to have even more cookies. You got to see the positive here.
when I say a little more, it usually means a few tablespoons, not a cup. But you're good.
If y'all remember our first video we did.
Yeah, the biscuits.
Yeah. Knowles needs to go outside. Nolan, hold up, buddy.
Alright, while you're stirring that, I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna let Nolan out.
Okay. That's about a cup and a half.
Wow.
We're a little shy, but we're making up for it with bacon. So, just pour this in, pour it all in and mix it. Okay.
Those are some big chocolate chips.
Yeah, I didn't get the mini chips. I got the real man-sized chips. I guess they were man-sized chips. It didn't have a gender, but what does anymore? Okay. Okay, those are mixed up. I don't know how good they're mixed up, but we still got bacon to mix in. So. Okay, let's come over here to the bacon. Now, oh yeah, that's feeling pretty crispy. It's stiffened her right up. Okay. So how do you want me to cut this into little pieces? Because I noticed you've got the scissors over here.
Yeah, I have the scissors for you to open up the bag of chocolate chips.
Oh, it had a tear.
I know, but I can never use the tear. I mean, if you need the scissors, use them.
I don't think I will. Some of this isn't as crispy as I like, but I mean, seriously, it's bacon.
Cook.
Yeah, it'll cook a little longer in there. Yeah, those are pretty good. And I washed my hands again while she was out taking care of the dog, so excuse me. Did I eat something? Okay. Yeah, that one probably could have cooked a little longer, but I was concerned it was looking like it was potentially on the burnt side. That one big piece. Okay.
Carla May. She says, thanks, Mom. She says, that's getting crunchy, Dad.
Yeah, it is. Oh, by the way, it's just crumbling
Oh,
up.
I got 3 dogs over here at the gate like, wait a minute, you're giving out bacon
Well.
over here?
Yeah, that could be an issue with the dogs, but you know. Okay, this is probably about a half a cup of bacon to make up for the lack of chocolate chips. So, okay. I'm gonna take this over here. See all that grease that got soaked up. These are practically healthy chocolate chip and bacon cookies. Got that bacon off my. Okay. These aren't dog treats, by the way.
They think they are.
I know they do. I made y'all's dog treats last time. Okay.
They're all laying at the gate.
Okay.
All right. Now you want to cover it with some saran wrap,
Oh, yes.
and it needs to sit in the fridge about 30 minutes.
Okay. This has been chilling for about 15-20 minutes. So we're going to dip. Do I need a fork to scrape this?
Nope, you need a big old scoop, flatten it out. Oops, my fingers are in front of the camera. Turn this around. And them about 2 inches apart.
So 3 across or 2 across?
I don't know, you're the math man.
That's scary. Yeah, we're gonna go 2 across.
No, that's more than 2. And you do it the way you want.
That's 2 across.
I do
1,
3.
2. Well,
You asked me and I didn't answer, I know. Did you tell them you wanted the baking sheet?
oh, I put parchment paper on the baking sheet. And it's some type of highfalutin pre-cut deal as opposed to the type we had to cut or tear off, which can always be risky. Okay. That'll be our first run. The oven has been preheating for way too long, but we won't go into who was right about that. That was just our friendly popping oven. How long did these cook?
About 13 minutes.
This is gonna be going. This is gonna be the last pan. I think I can probably get some cookies out of this. I think they might be a tad smaller, but such is life. This scooper is really good.
Check out at Publix.
Yeah, I get it in the corners here and feel like I'm going to be able to.
You know what I got that for? I got that for our low carb sausage,
Balls.
sausage, egg, yeah, whatever they were.
Yeah. Well.
I don't think these are low carb though.
Well, if you have a loose definition of low carb,
I mean, the bacon's low carb.
yeah, and we got the grease out of it. So, I mean, and you find bacon in salads all the time. I mean, don't you put bacon bits on salads? You put, I don't know if you put salt on the salad. Do you put salt on the salad? Some people do. I've seen it. So, I mean,
I do.
yeah, it's got a lot of the same ingredients as a salad. So, I
But
mean,
it also has a lot of the same ingredients as a breakfast food.
that's true. That's
I
true.
mean, it's got eggs,
So-
it's got bacon, it's got maple syrup.
Yeah, I mean, it's practically pancakes. I'm not a big pancake, hot cake type of guy. But before I had my gallbladder surgery, I did appreciate lettuce. And since my gallbladder surgery, well, to put it delicately, if I eat lettuce, I need to be wearing track shoes. You can infer from that whatever you feel like. But I don't eat lettuce much anymore, ever, not even at home. And I'll probably trip over a dog and break my neck. But yeah, I think if you went in most of your finer restaurants, a lot of the same ingredients are used in a lot of the healthier foods. You know, and a lot of the fine restaurants use salt and probably use bacon. So, I mean, you know, these are actually, do you remember, was it back in the 80s or 90s when they had those Neiman Marcus cookies and there was a big to-do about getting the recipe and it was like $50 for the recipe because they had the best cookies?
I don't remember that.
Well, you were but a child. And I may be getting that confused with some other type of cookie. But the thing I recall about it was that, you know, it was kind of a rage at the time. A lot of baby chocolate chip bacon. Well, there's not much bacon or chocolate chips in there, but I'll probably have to lick this. Do we want to let one of the dogs get jacked up on sugar this late at night?
Nope.
Sorry, kids.
I don't like them having sugar.
Yeah. Anyway, these probably aren't that different than the Neiman Marcus cookies. And you know, if I had any sense, I would probably just take this glob here and you know what? Got a big glob of cookie there. So now, this is, yeah, this is, I don't think people will like these cookies because this is not something I'm sure people would enjoy. Luckily, well, depending on how you look at it, luckily or unluckily, but I'm not quite the pre-rinse cycle the dogs are. But hey, everybody's got to do their part. I consider this doing my part. You know what we should have done? We should have cut this up into little chunks and like almost frozen it and put it in ice cream. Excuse me. Bacon chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. Tell me that wouldn't fly off the shelves if any of our commercial ice cream companies had any insight to what tastes good. That'd be like a breakfast cereal. That is scientific precision. For those of you keeping track at home, see how they're burned just, or not burned, they're getting crispy just around the edges. Now, those look good. I saw good once, and it looked a lot like that. Okay. Now, match numero dos.
Turn around.
Not sure I see bacon in there, but I think I see.
I see a little bacon in there.
Okay. The salty of the bacon with the sweet of the chocolate with the perfect texture of a finely cooked chocolate chip cookie with bacon. Yeah. Very satisfying. And, for emphasis, to cleanse the palate with the milk. Mm. Yeah. It's a shame that we're under this COVID quarantine for another few days. That's really one of the great tragedies of our time. But, not to make lemons out of lemonade, but one of the benefits of this quarantine from COVID has been getting to spend time with my lovely wife that I really enjoy spending time with. I'm sure her opinion of that's changed after being stuck with me for 3 or 4 weeks, but we do have cookies. Those are good. Oh yeah. Yeah. The bacon, the chocolate, the milk. These are the finished product. This is a plate full of cookies. We don't want a plate full of cookies in the floor, so I'm not going to tilt it. Look for us on cookingwithbobbyjoe.wordpress.com. And we are doing away with our Facebook page because we just have some philosophical differences with Facebook. And they want to control and all this other stuff, any content you upload. And there's some other things we disagree with them about. So there's also a Parler page or channel. I'm not the one to promote that because I'm not real sure what I'm talking
It's
about.
social networking
It's a social networking
site.
yeah, media site thing, whatever. So anyway, and I'm wearing my shirt the dogs got me for my birthday, I believe.
Father's Day.
Father's Day. Yeah. Best doggy dad ever. Best dog dad ever. There's probably some limitations on space with the lettering. And if you don't believe me, just ask Carla, Diane, Nolan, and Bobby Joe. And there's Carla, because she's kind of optimistic that I'm probably going to drop this plate. So we do have that. Thank you, and until next time, have a good evening.